An elevator story.
That day started like any ordinary morning. I had an important job interview at a large IT company located on the 25th floor of a business center. I had prepared thoroughly. I put on my best suit, rehearsed my self-presentation, and even memorized a few clever English phrases. In my pocket was the cherished resume that I hoped would open the door to a new life for me. In the luxurious lobby, I was greeted by the pleasant aroma of coffee and soft background music. I caught the elevator, and the doors were beginning to close when an elegant woman in a sophisticated business suit literally fluttered inside. We exchanged polite smiles, and the elevator smoothly ascended. It was on the 17th floor that a deafening grinding sound echoed, followed by a jolt, and the cabin froze. At first, we didn't grasp the seriousness of the situation. I politely joked, probably just a minor technical pause. But when 10 minutes passed and the elevator still hadn't moved, it became clear. We were stuck. The first 15 minutes passed in tense silence. Then my companion couldn't hold back and asked, "Do you know what to do in such situations?" Trying to remain calm, I replied, "The main thing is not to panic. I read somewhere that you need to press the call button for the dispatcher." The button was pressed, but there was no response. An hour in a confined space with a stranger is a great way to break down all social barriers. We started with ordinary topics. Introduced ourselves, her name was Elena, complained about the city services. But gradually, the conversation became more personal. Out of boredom, I began telling amusing stories from my life. Like how, as a child, I dyed a neighbor's cat pink while it was sleeping. How my mom spent a week trying to figure out why their pet had become so fashionable. Elena laughed, and it gave me courage. I told her about my first love, a classmate named Katia, with whom I used to secretly meet in the school library. About how our literature teacher caught us kissing, and we had to recite love poems in front of the entire class for a whole month. In return, Elena shared a story about her disastrous date in Paris, where her suitor fell into the Seine. We talked about everything: unfulfilled dreams, fears, funny travel moments. At one point, I even showed her a funny photo of my dog in a superhero costume. Elena found a chocolate bar in her purse, and we split it in half, like a final survival resource. When about 3 hours had passed, I started talking about the upcoming interview, about my career ambitions and hopes for the new position. Elena listened attentively and gave surprisingly insightful advice. And then the lucky moment. The elevator jolted and slowly began moving upward. When the doors opened on the 25th floor, we were greeted by a crowd of technical specialists and a flustered administrator. It turned out there had been a failure in the building's control system. I was 3 hours late for the interview. The secretary looked at me with pity and said the director had already left. But what was my surprise when a week later, I received a call inviting me to meet with the management. Entering the director's office, I saw at the desk Elena. It turned out she was the owner of the company where I was trying to get a job. She smiled and said, "A person who can maintain a sense of humor and find common ground with anyone in a stressful situation is exactly the kind of employee we need." I've now been working at this company for a year. And recently Elena, we're on a first-name basis now, showed me that very pink chocolate wrapper she kept as a talisman. And yes, the neighbor's cat still occasionally appears on the street, reminding me of my artistic experiments.